Hi, welcome back to my journey of maintaining with Slimming World. I suppose what's of paramount importance, first and foremost, is how did I do this week? Well, this week I lost £2. I'm pleased with that result in that I prefer to be at the bottom end of my target bracket. I'm now half a pound, I think, within the bottom of my target. My target weight is 10 stone 10. I'm currently 10 stone 7 and a half. This works for me. I know that with Slimming World we're allowed to move within that £6 bracket, but I have to confess I feel more confident at the lower end of that bracket so that I know if I have a blip, if I'm not well, if I choose to have a meal out, I've got some leeway. Because I think, my head's crazy. My head's crazy around food and weight. And if I was at the higher end of the bracket, I think it would stress me. And I know myself well enough to know that when I'm stressed, I can comfort eat. So I think it's good for me now, at this stage in my journey, to be aware of these things, to be aware of what triggers me. I reckon we all have trigger foods. My trigger foods are pork pie, chocolate, sausage rolls, good old stodge and comfort, steamed sponges, custard, rice pudding, all of these things that I have to say today I kind of avoid like the plague. My son suggested to me earlier when we were talking about sins for next week that maybe, packets of crisps. What about trying some of the different crisps? No, I think in retrospect, crisps are a dangerous thing for me. I used to eat Walker's crisps, but never buy the one pack. Always buy the multi pack. And I'm not exaggerating, ladies, gentlemen, when I tell you, truth and confession, I have sat before now and eaten a 12 pack of Walker's crisps and then thought, what can I eat now? Because I'm off. I'm off on a binge. And binging is one of my downfalls. I've been a binge eater since I was in my teens. And I know what triggers me. I know the emotions that can set me off. And I know the foods that can set me off. And for today, I'm grateful to have that knowledge so I can make different choices. I can guard myself against these things. For example, I don't drink alcohol. That's not because I disapprove of alcohol. It's not because I'm judgmental of anybody who chooses to drink alcohol. It's because I grew up in a pub and there was a plentiful supply of free alcohol. So I indulged. And when I've had a drink or two, two is usually enough, my head goes into eating mode and everything else goes out the bloody window. I've got no sense of when enough is enough if I've got some alcohol in me. And as I say, it doesn't need to be a lot of alcohol. I think one vodka and tonic could do it. And if I've had a drink and I'm Merry Jane and relaxed Jane, I could eat something like kebab and chips. Do you know what? If I haven't had a drink, I would never choose to eat kebab and chips. They're not my weaknesses. Fish and chips, maybe I'd eat the batter and leave the fish. But alcohol doesn't suit me. And it's not the calories, it's not the sins, it's the effect it has on my brain. I'm way hey, woo, anything goes. So no, I choose not to go there today. In group this morning, we touched lightly on healthy extras. My consultant Naomi shared from her own experience, which was a breath of fresh air, that she had been buying a wholemeal large loaf. I believe she said from Aldi, but don't quote me on that. Believing that would be a healthy B choice. A slice would be a healthy B choice. She knew something wasn't suiting her. She checked into what exactly, and I mean, she's good on this program. She holds and maintains a good weight loss. But she looked into it, and she realised that this bread was not a B choice. So for every slice she had, and she wasn't eating an overload of it, but for every slice that she chose to eat, it was 5 sins. That is enough to stop you losing weight. It's enough to help you gain weight. if you're lucky, you might get away with it. But for today, I'm not about getting away with it. Some people would say I'm obsessive. Some people would say I take it to extremes. Not for me, I don't. For me, there's either the Slimming World way or no way. No hope, no chance. And I can't go back down that road. If I do it again, if I put the 11.5 stone on that I've lost, this time it'll kill me. And I mean that seriously. My brother is only 11 months older than me, has just been diagnosed with a serious heart condition. My father had the same heart condition. I don't want that. I don't want to go that way. You know, I'm not saying my brother's overweight, but weight is a contributory factor that could and would and might well kill me. So for today, I'm doing it this way. There isn't another way. So looking at A's and B's, and this week I've had 2 A's and 2 B's, and really enjoyed that actually. It feels like good clean food to me. And as I say, I had 7 sins a day. I lost 2 pounds. Now what I'm going to do going forward this week is I'm going to have 2 A's, 2 B's and 8 sins a day. I might fine tune it. If I lose again, I'll keep increasing the sins. A bit of my problem, and I just touched on it lightly, is what on earth do you spend these sins on? I don't want to fall into the trap of spending them on chocolate like I did a fortnight ago. Much as I like chocolate, again, it's not the best thing for me. Other people can choose to eat what they like, and I know a lot of you out there in YouTube land love your crisps, love your chocolate, like your glass of wine or whatever, and if that works for you, then I applaud you. But I can only look at today what works for me. I don't want to judge anybody else. I'm not saying you have to do it my way, not for 1 minute. Please don't ever think that I'm telling you how to do it. All I'm doing to document my journey is sharing what I've done this week and what I plan to do next week. Somebody might pick something up from this that will just help them somewhere, or they might learn something that, you know, it's taken me years to learn. But I am by no means saying you must do this. I watch a lot of YouTube people on the weight loss journey, and I learned something from a lot of the videos. Sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I think, yeah, I did that 20 years ago. But it's not an insult to anybody. It's just we have to learn by our own experiences. We have to learn by our own mistakes. Because if you're anything like me, you won't be told. You have to experience it. I'm no good at somebody telling me how I should do something. I generally go the other way. So, you know, I am a stubborn old soul, but I want to learn. And for me today, just keep looking at Slimming World. Keep checking the sins, keep checking the healthy extras. Somebody shared in group this morning about yoghurt, and they said, you know, they have a tendency to eat 3 Muller Lights a day. Was this too much? Now, my group leader said, it's what works for you. There isn't one size fits all with these things, because we all are different people at different stages of life. Now, I eat quite a lot of yoghurt. I can go sort of in cycles with it, but currently I would have, in my breakfast, I do overnight Weetabix. I mean, most people do overnight oats, but I like it with 2 Weetabix crumbled into it. This would be made of a Muller Light, and my favourite are the coffee ones. Oh, and by the way, somebody said this morning, Morrison's have 10 Muller Lights for £2 that's in the East Midlands. I don't know if that's everywhere, but it's worth checking. So I would have a Muller Light, 2 Weetabix crumbled into it, half a tub of Skyer plain yoghurt, the fat-free one that's free, stirred into that. Leave it overnight and it goes thick and stodgy, and that's my kind of comfort. But it's a B choice and no sins. With that, I would have a piece of fruit and 2 boiled eggs. That's my breakfast. For some people, they might say that's too much. It's what works for me, because I'm no good at being hungry. I listen to YouTube videos where people say, well, I have a hi-fi bar for my breakfast, or I have some fruit for my, a bowl of fruit for my breakfast. And whilst I think that's marvellous if it works for you, I know that having breakfast at 8 o'clock like that, I'd be starving by 9. So I have to go with what works for me. I eat a big lunch, but I probably don't have my lunch until 3 o'clock most days. I would have something in between because I'm usually out walking, so I'd take 2 hi-fi bars with me. And I do like the new jam roly-poly ones. I thought lemon meringue were my favourites, but jam roly-poly has it at the moment. So I would eat those while I was walking. Generally have a coffee or a hot drink when we're out. Not every time, but generally. When we come home, we have a cooked lunch. Now, I know the extra easy planner says 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I tend to eat a lot more vegetables than I do meat and carbs, purely because I only eat food today that I really like. I won't eat a big plate of pasta because it fills me, because I don't really like it. I won't eat loads of rice because I don't really enjoy it. If I have a curry, then I have cauliflower rice with it because I love it. I eat lots of pickles with my food. Not to the exclusion of anything else, just additions. This big boy from Aldi, it's sliced beetroot, sliced pickled beetroot, 75p. Now we get through probably 4 of these a week with our other pickles, because we like pickled garlic and we like pickled gherkins, great big pickled gherkins. So for me, I would have loads of vegetables and then chopped and mixed into it, slice up some gherkins. It's all speed. I did this week eat peas and I did eat sweet corn a couple of times, and I like those things. But if you give me a choice, the vegetables I tend to lean towards are speed veg, because it's what I like. I love cauliflower. This week I shredded up some Brussels sprouts so I could throw them into a stir fry of vegetables. I have eaten meat every day this week, which is unusual for me. I don't usually have meat every day. It's not a cost thing, it's just a preference. I think I probably make a better vegetarian than a meat eater, but I know I need the protein. I do always have some sort of pulses or legumes. I'm a great believer in the red kidney bean. I only really got into red kidney beans when I've been doing Slimming World. I didn't realise they were so nice. For 30p from Asda, you've got a power-packed tin of little red fellas that are going to aid. Sorry, producer Joe's laughing. It's behind the camera. Well, behind the iPad. They're just amazing. I tell you, I cannot get through a day without a tin of red kidney beans. I'm sorry if Joe thinks that's funny. I used to be the same about pork pies, but thank God red kidney beans are a bit healthier. This morning at group, I won one of the raffle prizes. Our raffle prizes are always worth winning. It's not something insignificant. There were 2 raffle prizes this week. One for National Chip Week, which was an amazingly huge box of butternut squash, potatoes, sweet potatoes, vegetables, fry light, everything you could make chips out of. And I believe it had a roasting tin in there as well. I'm not sure about that, but it was massive. And the other prize was a beautiful, beautiful, big £10 worth box of fruit. And my ticket came out first this morning, which is not unusual because I'm very lucky with the raffles. But I always buy plenty of tickets. But I won an amazingly, really, really cellophane ribbon-tied box of fruit this morning. So I'm going to look at that because often I'll lean towards speed fruit. I love the big, big conference pears from Aldi, which are 35p each. Keep them in the drawer at the bottom of your fridge and oh my days, they are beautiful. But I keep my apples in the drawer at the bottom of my fridge because I don't bite and munch on an apple. I like mine cored and sliced up. When they're ice cold, I find them just a bit more satisfying. So, there's a little something that I do that might help somebody. But these big pears from Aldi, They are so tasty. I tend to lean, as I say, more towards speed fruit. I love watermelon. Kind of like raspberries. Don't do strawberries unless they're grown locally, because here in the county where I live, we do grow a lot of strawberries at a place called North Wheatley. And oh, you've not lived until you've eaten strawberries straight out of the fields or straight into a punnet and bought off the farm. So all of the strawberries that are currently in the shops that would be foreign ones, and nah, I can't be bothered. They're just, as I say, if I don't really, really, really like it today, I don't eat it. I'm just so thrilled. We've recently had an Aldi open within a couple of miles of where we live. We used to have to go into the city for one. But this one just opened a few weeks ago, and the fruit and the vegetables and the meat in there is awesome. You know, so if you want to do this plan on a sensible budget, shop in Aldi. I know Donna regularly recommends Aldi and Lidl, and she's got it down to a fine art. I saw this week that Tilly had done a Lidl shop. She'd got plenty of fruit and veg in there, and some naughty bits, but she's not well, bless her. And you can't be so rigorous that you're not going to have something you enjoy. If it falls within your sins, where's the problem? You know? Yeah, so good week at group. Interesting about yogurts. Just wanted to remind myself as well as some other people that not all Muller yogurts are free, because the lady I was sitting next to in group today reminded me of that. We were talking about, you know, lots of people eat lots of yogurts, and, you know, 1, 2, 3 a day, which is fine if you're having the free Mullers. But my favourite one is key lime pie, and that's 1 sin. So, you know, a couple of those a day, and I'm up 14 sins a week without even I didn't realise it at first. I ate those thinking they were free. Today, I know they're 1 sin. I still choose to eat them, but I count them because, my consultant had a little saying, and she'd said it to her father during the week. If it tastes that good, the chances are it's quite a few sins. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to take that away with me and remember that when I'm out and about. If it tastes that good, the chances are there's quite a few sins. Very, very good group. It wasn't such a big group today. I think end of half term and a lot of people away. We lost £59 in group 2 and I think 50 plus in group 1. So again, you know, we've lost the weight of a teenage youngster, haven't we, this week between us. It just blows my mind. When we looked at, there was a list up in group of how much weight we actually lost last year. Can't remember the figures now, but it was mind-blowing. And what I love about my group is everybody matters. There's no cliques, there's no favouritism, there's no your face fits or your face doesn't fit. It is just the most welcoming place. You know, it's friendly, we always have a laugh, not generally at somebody's expense, although some of us do. I've made them laugh before with something daft I've done. But it's grand, it's really grand, and everybody matters. And everybody's pulling for everyone else. I woke up this morning when my alarm went off at 6:30, and it's cold. So I hopped out of bed, tripped to the loo, as you do, and then went and turned the heating on because the thermostat wasn't up high enough. Then I hopped back into bed for an hour, and I laid there and I was thinking, it's too cold. My bed's so comfortable. Oh, it's lovely and warm in this bed. I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to group. And that's the first time since I joined at the beginning of May that it's crossed my mind I don't want to go to group. And it wasn't, I don't think, that I didn't want to go to group. It was that I was too mardy to get out of bed, get a shower, do my hair, whatever, get ready. Then I thought to myself, this is the thought that saved me, girls. If I don't go to group today, and if I don't prove to myself that I'm still within target, I can't pay myself a fiver. Now, it's not that I'm totally money motivated, but well, I guess I probably must be, because that was the one thing that got me jumping out of bed and getting ready. It would have been so easy not to go this week. But if I'm doing this as a journal for my journey, and if I'm changing it on a weekly basis to try and find the balance, if I'd chosen not to go today, how would I have known whether it was working or not? So, yeah, I've paid myself a fiver. I think I'm worth it. And I'm very grateful for anybody who chooses to watch this video. Just like to say hi to Donna, because she gave me a nice mention this week. She's a smashing girl. Really, really wished I lived closer, because I'd like to go and sit at her kitchen table and have a cuppa. But yeah, thanks to all of you who watched. Please subscribe if my videos suit you. Ignore me if they don't. As I say, I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just telling you how I do it. No right way, no wrong way. For me, just the Slimming World way. Thanks again, and I'll be back.
What are you going to do next week?
Oh, producer Joe's reminding me, what am I going to do next week? Well, next week, 2 A's, 2 B's, 8 sins. 1 sin up. And we'll see where that takes us. Bye for now.